If you have all 23, you get a special pin and all that. Okay. But there's only 18 items that are absolutely required to have on the car. Okay. It's not affiliated with the state at all, except some states. In Oklahoma, I think they have a state inspection that they honor the National Street Art Association's inspection.
Right.
For their vehicle inspection.
Okay. And is this a yearly thing? What people usually do is get it inspected every year, or what?
Yeah, it's a yearly thing. It's once a year. It brings them out and get them checked out.
And how does one find out where the safety inspections are taking place in their MSRA?
Yeah, and the Minnesota Street Art Association has a line chaser, and we list all the events where the inspections are going to be at. There's usually a map.
Okay. And so it would help to belong to the Minnesota Street Route Association to find out where the National Street Route Association's inspections are.
That's the best thing for the state. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, if you're involved in these old cars or street routes, the MSRA is the organization to belong to anyway.
Yep, so you're usually involved in both of them.
That's right, that's right. So, okay, have you yourself been involved with the NSRA a long time? Or?
I've been involved since my father was one of the first members they had, and I've been involved since I was born, so I've been around a while.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you personally drive?
I've got a 1933 Willys Coupe and a 1940 Ford pickup.
Wow, two nice cars.
Yep. I've had the pickup was my first vehicle. I drove to high school every day for 2 years.
Are you in any car clubs besides the MSRA?
There's one club that's called the Over the Hill Gang that I belong to. Yeah.
You don't look like you're
I'm not quite there yet, but I'm still a member.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for being on Driveway Talk, and
great.
it's a pleasure talking
to
you. So we'll be moving on. Moving along on Driveway Talk, we come across this booth and a very unusual gentleman. This is something that we all grew up with, and sir, you are?
Ed Big Daddy Roth.
Ed Big Daddy Roth. I'm Ron Anderson, and welcome to Driveway Talk. I appreciate you. Now, can you tell us how this got started, how this idea came about?
Well, he actually come from the junkyard. I used to go to the junkyards a lot, build the custom cars, and then I'd come home and I'd start drawing the people that I'd seen at the junkyard.
Wow.
And pretty soon, my little mouse came out here. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
And his name is Ratfink.
And everybody knows Ratfink. We've all had it on our cars at one time and another growing up. And
now this was 1958.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's almost 40 years ago.
That's right.
So everybody knows Ratfink. Now
they do.
The cars that I build, I still go to the junkyard and pick up these really neat engines. On this one I built over here, I picked up a Chevy Metro. And I stripped off the body, and I straightened all this little horns and stuff out, and I built me a fiberglass body for it. And that's what I do in the spare time. When I don't make money doing a Ratfink, I spend money at the junkyard. It's a beautiful thing. Now, when you go cruising, the guy here in Minneapolis, the mayor or the police chief, he endorses cruising. Most cities that we go into, they don't let guys cruise. So I don't know his name, but I sure like to.
You're talking about Police Chief Bill Finney of St. Paul?
That's the guy.
Yeah, really a nice guy, special guy, and we all love him. And Police Chief Finney encourages all the street routing that takes place in the St. Paul area.
Good. Now, does he leave the junkyards alone? Does he give them a little plug once in a while?
He gives them lots of slack.
Because I went to the junkyard here in Minneapolis. I saw cars I'd never seen before because they're well preserved. Snow or something protects all these things from rust.
Wow.
So I'm gonna go get some parts for my little Nova. You know, it's a favorite car.
Now, where is your base out of?
I live in Utah, but I had to get out of California because there were too many gangs there, and at nighttime you hear the shooting of the AK-47.
Wow.
I don't like that. You know.
That's
something in the country.
Wow, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's something I've never heard.
Nobody bothers me in Utah.
Sure.
Because the guy on one side of me, he raises horses, and the other guy raises wheat. And I tell him, look, I won't mess with your wheat or your horses, but don't mess with my cars.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, you're pretty well known all over the place, and it's a pleasure to talk to you. And we had to get you on Driveway Talk, and it's great. I'm honored to meet you.
Can I put in a little plug for my website?
You sure can. What is your website?
Ratfink.org. Yeah, it's a simple one to remember. .org, ratfink.org.
Okay.
You can check out Moldy Marvin. He's got a weird thing going there, and he's got some 3D glasses he'll send you so that you can see the whole website in 3D. It's a beautiful thing.
That's great.
Big Daddy, and we're signing off. We got to get back to to the stuff here in the alley.
That's right. Thank you very much. Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, moving on through World of Wheels 2000. We come here upon the Minnesota Olds Club. Who are you, sir?
My name is Roger Huber.
Hi, Roger. I'm Ron Anderson with
Ron,
Driveway
pleased to meet
Talk.
you.
Pleased to meet you, sir. And we're standing in front of a beautiful Olds Tornado. Do you know what year this is?
This is a 66 Tornado.
66.
This is owned by Dan Jones, one of our longtime club members who lives right here in the Twin Cities.
Oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, Maple Grove is where Dan is from.
Boy, it's a beautiful car. It's kind of a copper color, isn't it?
Autumn Bronze, I believe it is called.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I had one of these Tornadoes so many years ago, but it never looked like this.
Yeah,
And
this is a beauty. It's,
and this
just
was
been
one of the
completed.
first front-wheel drive, wasn't it?
This was the first year. In 66 they came with this car.
Uh-huh.
And Oldsmobile headed in, well, up until recent years, the last one was 92, but these classic Oldsmobile Tornadoes were in the late 60s.
Sure.
That's when they made their prominence.
Sure, yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. And in this body style, how many years did they make this body style? 3?
Through 71, I believe.
Oh, I see.
71
Okay,
or
so about
72.
5-6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Gorgeous. And in the background here, we have Minnesota Olds Club. Now, what can you tell? You're in the Olds Club.
I'm an officer in the Minnesota Olds Club. I've been a
Okay.
member myself since '93. The club was chartered in '79 with a very few members, 15 or 20, and we've grown statewide now to about 175 to 180 members.
175 to 180 members.
Right.
And then, are you part of a network in the United States?
Yes,
or-
we are a chapter of the Olds Club of America.
I see.
And the Olds Club of America has state clubs like our own throughout the whole country.
Yeah.
And the Olds Club of America has several thousand members in it.
I see. Do you know offhand when the first Oldsmobile was made?
1897.
1897.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oldsmobile
Well, I would have
was-
guessed about 1901, so I would have only been 4 years off. So
Yeah,
that would be a good question for do you want to be a millionaire, I guess. So.
That's right. Yeah.
So what, would you guys have monthly meetings or?
We meet locally here once a month. We meet the fourth Thursday every month at Jim Loopy and Oldsmobile right here in Golden Valley.
I see.
And at our meetings, we probably have 30 to 35 people in attendance regularly.
I see.
And this is the nucleus of the club.
Uh-huh. So if somebody out there wanted to join the Olds Club, do they have to have a certain year olds or?
No, we take Oldsmobile memberships for any Oldsmobile of any year, in any
Okay.
condition. And we welcome all new members to join our club and get involved with the conversation and the car shows and the racing that we're
Okay.
involved in and so forth.
So if somebody had a 1901 Olds, you'd welcome them?
Oh, you bet. We love those oldies.
So, okay, and then do you have a monthly magazine or anything?
Yes,
or?
we do. There's actually 2 monthly magazines. Our local magazine is called the Olds Image, and that's put out every monthly to our local members. And then there's the national magazine that's also put out. So there are two publications.
Is there a cost to join the club? Or?
$30 per year for the National Club, the Olds Club of America, plus $20 for our own chapter here in Minnesota. So it's a $50 a year total obligation.
Yeah, but it's a good network to get into because if you're looking for parts or
I would think if you're building a car or you're buying cars or you're into car talk, it's almost a must to belong to a club of this nature.
Sure.
Just simply for parts, if nothing else.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm in the Mercury Club because I drive a Merc.
Yes,
But,
yeah. You
I've
can
been in
appreciate that. Then.
I've been in a lot of car clubs because I've had a lot of different kinds of cars. So anything else that you'd like to say about your Olds Club, or is it?
Well, our Olds Club is mostly active in car shows of this type. We probably go to, as a club, maybe 3 or 4 a year. We have our own
see.
state show, plus a 4-state show, plus a national show, and now we're recently involved in a new thing, and that's drag racing. That's just kind of getting off the ground. It's a whole new bunch of people. Because Oldsmobiles were such a muscle car in the 70s, we're attracting a lot of members through the racing side of our club.
Oh yeah, well that's great.
So,
I have a buddy that's got a 61 old Starfire convertible, and I'll have to get him into your club.
Well, I'll tell you, he'd be welcome too, because they're a classic.
Yeah, he's in Minnetonka. I'm going to call him up
Yeah.
tonight and tell him
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
So, well, I know there's a. Are you in any other car clubs like MSRA? Or?
Minnesota Street Rod Association. Yes, I'm a member there too. I personally own a 71 442 convertible. It's
Wow.
not in the show
It's a
this
nice
year.
car.
It was down here last year, and I show that and drag race it a little bit
Wow.
also. So
Nice car.
we're involved.
Yeah. Well, okay, geez, we'll pass the word on, and it looks like you got your drag racing lights set up there. And,
Well, that's just to kind of play with here and
Yeah.
keep everybody's attention.
okay. Well, I appreciate you being on Driveway Talk, and
Well, thank
it was a
you,
pleasure
Ron.
talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, moving on down the line here at World of Wheels 2000, we come across a couple of beautiful motorcycles. And who are you, sir?
Leroy C. Spears.
Hi, Leroy. I'm Ron Anderson from Driveway Talk, local Twin Cities show on cars, and your motorcycles are absolutely gorgeous. Now, where are you from, Leroy?
Nederland, Texas is about 100 miles southeast of Houston.
Uh-huh. And how did you get these bikes up here? You trailered them, of course, in a closed trailer?
We
or-
have a motor home and a closed trailer.
I see, okay. Now, what can you tell us about this bike? What is this bike here?
Oh, this is my riding bike here, so to speak. It's a show bike, but I ride every now and then. It's a
Uh-huh.
1500 Vulcan Classic.
Uh-huh. What year is that?
It's a 96.
A 96? Boy, it's gorgeous. Do you do the paint jobs on these?
No, there's a painter down in Waco, Texas, named Von Otto, and he does all the artwork for me.
Uh-huh. Boy, he's great.
That's about $3,000 paint job, paint job here, and about $10,000 paint job on my show bike. With
Wow.
the base paint and
A
all the airbrushes.
$10,000 paint job on this. Now, what kind of bike is this?
It's a 83 1100 Kawasaki.
An 83 Kawasaki. Wow, it is gorgeous. Do you just show these, or you do ride them?
Well, I ride this bike, periodically. But
Yeah.
I got started with a Kawasaki 1500, and it was called the Smoky Mountain Express. And I had
Wow.
16 scenes painted on it, and then I started showing it to the Texas Autorama South,
Uh-huh.
and we were winning international with it and all that, so I decided to buy me another bike, a show bike, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
And I bought this one here. And
Sure.
I sold the Smoky Mountain Express and bought this to the show, and then later on I bought this one to ride. And I kind of show both of them.
Sure. Well, I tell you, well, look at the artwork. I can't believe that. And then, I mean, what do they do? Do they put a ton of clear coat on that stuff, or how?
Well, what you start out with is there's a base paint of pearl white on the wheels and so forth, and all over the bike, and you paint the white bike with a pearl white base.
Wow.
It's a Harley Davidson birch white, I believe, and then
Sure.
after the guy does a base paint, and Von Otto comes back with the airbrush and does all the airbrush work,
Sure.
and then he gives it back to the base painter to do the clear coat.
Uh-huh.
So it's a long process. Of course, this bike here, it took me over 4 years to build.
4 years to build.
Oh, totally,
Wow.
And it's been repainted 3 times. And the reason I say the value is well over 100,000 is because it's been completely rejuvenated on 3 occasions.
Sure.
And I was going to the internationals to be the international bike champion in ISCA,
Uh-huh.
and I had a blowout, and my bike went through the trailer first time.
Wow.
And the second time, it caught fire and blew up when we were painting it. And the third time, we painted it in the 20-degree weather, and the paint curled. So this is actually the 4th attempt to get it painted in this state here in about 4 years.
Wow. So this you have insured for $100,000?
Right, a little over 100,000, yeah.
Uh-huh. What is the value of this bike here? Or?
About 25,000.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the reason the paint, I think I paid him about $3,000 for this paint job, but the reason so much less is because he did not do all the undercarriage under the fenders,
Oh, yeah.
under the tanks, under the wheels and so forth.
Sure.
This bike here we've got stained under the fenders, under the battery box and all.
Sure. I really like that animal theme you have, the tigers and the everything. Geez, it's great. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Well,
Everybody's standing around just staring. I mean,
Well, I think everybody's amazed at cats, wild cats.
yeah.
Beautiful, unique,
They are.
mysterious and all. I think everybody likes it. Cats, and this is one of my loves anyway.
Right.
And it's just something I've always enjoyed. This is the #1 show bike in the nation at this point.
Oh, it is. The number one show bike in the
I've
nation.
got high points right now.
I believe it. I believe it.
I've accumulated more points. I'm in first place now.
Wow.
And I've got well over 500 trophies and plaques established for it over a period of 5 years in the International Show
Over
Car
500
Association.
trophies?
Yeah, over 500.
Wow.
And it's been established in the ISCA, who sponsors this show here.
Have you always driven motorcycles all your life, or
About the last 10 years.
10 years? So
I
you
started-
got it into motorcycling relatively late.
Late,
then.
right.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right, and I just, when